welcome. Welcome to our Tejano virtual event. Just a reminder that we are going to be recording our session today. So I'd like to invite you all to mute your mic, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy a great presentation. Today we have a presentation by Miss Sarah Holloway. She's a librarian over at the Northwest campus, and she's going to be talking to you today about origami. And for attending today's workshop, you're going to have the opportunity to earn Tejano Passport points. So during the workshop, you'll see that I'll put a code in the chat. So I'll go ahead and put that in there later on in the workshop so that you can get points for attending today, and then you can earn points towards getting a medallion for graduation. So I'll be sharing more about that program after this workshop. So get comfortable, mute your mics, and if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or place them down in the chat box in the bottom right. So Miss Holloway, whenever you're ready, you can start.
Okay, I'm ready. It's really nice to see all of you this afternoon. I love origami, so I'm really happy to be able to share this with you. What I would like you to do is, yes, we are going to make some origami models and other things, but I'd like you to get an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, like printer paper. We're going to make a box like this. So I can wait while you do that. And also, if you have any currency, doesn't have to be a dollar bill, but we may have time to fold some origami dollar bill models. So just let me know when you have your paper ready and we'll begin. I'm going to put my screen down like this. You will need an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, like printer paper. Making the box. So I'm going to go ahead and start. First of all, get it in portrait, and we're going to fold the left corner all the way to the right. You need a flat surface to fold on, and be very careful to line up the edge of the paper. You don't want the other side of the paper showing, and make a nice crease with your fingernail so it's very crisp. Then open it up and fold from the bottom to the top. And once again, be very careful to line up the edges of the paper. Okay, you're going to open that up and fold the left-hand side in towards the center crease. And once again, line it up with the crease that you've already made and make sure the edges of the paper are even. Hold it carefully and then make your crease and open that up. Then we'll take the other side and do the same thing. So we have a sheet of paper. It looks like this. There is an X in the center dividing it into 4 quadrants. And then we folded the left-hand side or the right-hand side on backwards from you, but we folded the edges over to the center. And now we're taking the top edge and we're folding it towards the middle crease. Once again, make sure that the edges of the paper line up and hold it very securely. And make a nice crease. We're going to keep this folded in. We're not going to open it. And you do the same thing with the other side. Okay, everything is symmetrical in this model. So what we do on one side, we do on the other side. Now we're going to fold the corners toward the creases. So I like to put my finger here on this crease and fold it up towards that same crease, like this. I teach an origami in the summer program, and it was very successful. This was the first model that we made. And since I have it set up with the camera so they can see, they did very well. So it looks like this now. Is everybody good? We'll make another one after this, and then I'm going to show you some origami artists. And okay, good. Great. I see you all are keeping up here. So we're doing the same thing on the opposite side. So now it looks like this. So you folded these corners, the edges into the crease. And notice that you have paper left over here and here. Now what we're going to do with that edge that we have, we're going to fold it over. So you're going to have to be careful and fold right on top of the triangles that you've already folded. Origami is really good at teaching geometric principles and spatial awareness, and of course dexterity. Japanese children take origami in school. So we're doing the same thing on the top side. So notice that you've covered up the triangles, part of the triangles. Okay, now this is the magic part. You're going to make your box. So you're going to take it, not on the left and right edges, but here right in the center. And all you do is pull it out like this and shape it. Squeeze the corners a little bit so it stays. And there you have your box. We've made some of these, and at the reference desk we'll put pencils, we'll put erasers, paper clips, and if you don't, you can use this for a lot of things. My friend Helen said, well, why don't you just put some candy in there for a party? So this is very useful. Okay, good, Patricia. Yes, you're welcome. It's really fun once you make a model. It's exciting, and it becomes addictive, and you want to make more. Okay, I would like to make another one. Oh, good, Samantha. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This one I'd like to make. Go ahead and use your printer paper. I'm going to use some colored printer paper that we had here at the library. We're going to make a butterfly. So go ahead and get a paper ready. What we're going to do first, though, is we're going to make a square with the 8.5 by 11. To make a square, you take one corner, this corner, and this bottom corner is going to meet the opposite corner, or the adjacent corner. Once again, make sure you line it up very carefully, because these are going to be the butterfly wings. I'm creasing it. Okay, here we go. So you can be using your printer paper. Now I'm going to turn it over just because it's easier to see, and I'll fold it up right where the crease we made meets the paper. So we have about this much left over. And that part we're either going to tear off or cut off. So if you've ever done this, when you tear paper, you don't have some scissors, go ahead and crease it on both sides. And actually it works very well to tear it. Sometimes you get a straighter edge than you do when you cut it. So you hold it with your finger and just tear. And then you see, you get a nice square piece of paper. So if you don't have origami paper, this is how you make it with an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Now we already have this crease going diagonally, and we're going to make another crease diagonally. So see how we're lining up the top edge, we're making a big triangle. And you'll see the other crease. If it doesn't meet exactly in the middle at the tip, that's okay. And I'm creasing with my fingernail down here. Open it up, and you have a crease here and a crease here, dividing it into 4 parts and 4 pie shapes and 2 big triangles. Now, this is important. Flip your paper over and turn it. And we're going to make an X. We're going to fold horizontally and vertically. So here's the first crease. It goes right in the middle. where the other creases meet. And so turn it a quarter turn again. And let's fold it again horizontally. Okay. You should be able to kind of pop the paper out like this. And you'll see some big triangles. Now, I'll do this a couple times. Can you fold the paper in so you have a folded triangle like this? It looks like this on the side. And it looks like this in the front and this in the back. And it looks like this on the open edge. So we had it open like this. And you just kind of pop it up. And then take your fingers and close it together. And then you have the point facing away from you. How's everyone doing on this? You're fine if you just watch. I have a lib guide that has all of this. Okay, very good. Great. Okay, now we have the crease that's right down the center that goes from the point of the triangle to the bottom. And I like putting my finger at the crease on the bottom. And look, we're going to fold up from the bottom. And we didn't fold all the way up to the top, notice. We folded so the triangle that we've made is hanging off the edge right here. It's about this far from the tip of the big triangle. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure that you just fold the top piece of paper. We're not going to fold both, just the top piece. This is what it looks like. So we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Now your shape looks like this. Now, what we do is take the bottom part. Notice I'm turning it like this so you can see. We take this bottom part that's the point of the big triangle and we wrap it around like this and we fold it over and hold, pinch it and shape it. And there you have your butterfly. Okay, there's different sizes of origami paper. I buy mine on Amazon or Etsy. If you had smaller origami paper, like this, which is about 2.5 by 2.5 square, and it comes in beautiful patterns. That's what I was really attracted to first, I had to admit, was all the beautiful paper. It is being recorded, so that way you can go back and try this if you didn't have your paper. And here's the larger paper, which is about 5 or 6 inch square. And the kind that you can buy on Amazon is a really big packet of 1,000 pages. which is what we bought for the summer program. There's some very beautiful paper that's a little bit more fragile that you can use for various models that will make a kind of a fragile butterfly, actually. Here's another one. And then there's some very ornate and colorful paper also, like this. I have things all over this table, so I apologize. I'm going to be reaching around and grabbing things. Here's some more paper. You can see the Japanese symbols there, calligraphy. You don't always have to use the origami paper to fold, which is the verb that's used. So when you're doing origami, you're folding, and that's like your sport, like you're running or swimming, you're folding. I actually got this in Japan. They just took the origami paper and covered this little can. It has cat whiskers on the inside. Okay, so you can do that. I framed some origami paper that had scenes of Japan. There were 6 different patterns and it just came out beautifully. So what I want to do next is show you, I'm going to share my screen. I want to show you some origami artists. This will take just about 10 minutes. I see now that we're going to have to, I have a lot of things to show you, so I'm going to get busy here and I'm going to share my screen with you. I just want to show you what it looks like on the internet. This is the same butterfly you folded, and this is on my LibGuide. This is my LibGuide, and what you just folded was YouTube links to beginning origami animals. And now we're going over to this NASA scientist who's a physicist, and he explains how he got started with origami.
Sarah, does it have sound? I don't think we're hearing the sound right now.
Yes, Kristen, it does have sound. If it doesn't have sound, I tested this before and I thought it did, but we don't have to watch all the videos then. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, not at all. When you're sharing your tab, maybe it has the sound at the bottom that if you wanted to check on that when you share the tab.
Okay.
Yeah, it still didn't have the sound, but that's okay. We're just watching it.
I hope maybe that you heard the sound on this one, Kristen.
No, the sound didn't come out. I think it's just on the computer right now. But that's okay. We were looking at the closed captions.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
Your sound.
Okay, thank you.
Ready?
Yeah.
So in this exhibition is the same. I discover the infinite origami, just one cell. So and continue, and get.
Hey, my wonderful technician, Blake Clemacera, got the sound working for me. I just want to show you one more. She's down here. Her name is Mademoiselle Maurice. She lives in Marseille, France. And what she does looks like origami graffiti. And now I'm going to go back to the camera and show you some other things. Okay, hello. I wanted to show you the second artist is Tomoko Fuse. And this summer we made boxes. This is one of the boxes we made. She has written about 60 different books on origami. I have this book that she wrote. And with all the origami instructions on the inside, they look like this. There's a whole language for origami, and I think the best way to learn it is with that, but mostly on YouTube. I just typed in 1,000 paper cranes or paper cranes, and I got 225 different hits. So YouTube, it's like it was made for origami. This is another box. Here's another box we made. And here's a little box on the inside. Here's a box that has an insert. So it's like a divider. You could use this for maybe jewelry. This is one they really enjoyed. It's called a star box. That was one of the favorites. This is another one that looks like a flower. It's called a lotus box. Another one that has the shape that goes out like this, and there's the inside, here's the back. And the last one is one that's called to burn incense. I've tried this, and you just have to be careful. Okay. Another thing I'd like to show you is, you know how we just made the butterfly. You can make really small butterflies with that smaller paper, and you can put it on different things like wreaths, or you can make flowers. I want to show you one thing that I made, and this is made of different modules. There's 16 of them. So this looks very complex, but it's actually made of pretty simple modules that you put together. It's called a modular origami, and you turn it like this, pull from the outside, from the inside out, and it's supposed to look kind of like fireworks. Yeah, thanks. It was pretty fun, because you never know what you're going to get until you're finished with it. I'd like to show you something else. If you have a currency with you, like a dollar bill, this is paper that's specifically for origami. It says the United States of Origami. We got a good laugh out of that. So I'd like to show you an origami heart. And it kind of opens up here in the center. You could put a message here if you wanted to. And it looks like this on the back. So if you take the dollar bill or paper currency, you have that. There's a whole, we're going to fold it in half first. There is so much dollar bill origami on the internet, on YouTube. So once again, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to line up the edges very carefully. Open it up, and we have the crease down the center. So you're going to fold one of the corners to meet that center crease. Actually, you're going to fold both corners. Now we're taking the other side, and it's going to meet the edge of the paper that you just folded, just like this. Fold in half, fold the sides towards the center, and turn it over. Now we're going to take this bottom edge and folding it up, to meet this edge. And then we take the other side, it's symmetrical, and we're folding it up, meet the other edge, like this. Now, this is the fun part. We're folding this top piece down so it is going to rest, it's going to line up on the edge of the two triangles that you made here at the bottom. And you can see it's starting to form the heart shape. Okay, this is a squash fold. So we open it up like this, and we push down on the side. And we do the same thing to the other side. We fold down just the top part, and we flatten this out, and it's called a squash fold. Is everybody with me here? Most of us don't carry around cash or paper currency. Okay, great. So now all we do is fold this down to make a little triangle on the top. You see, we took this edge right here, and you just fold it across. It meets. We fold it down so you see a little triangle here at the top. And then you take the other side and you do the same thing. And you turn it over, and there's your heart. I want to show you some of the things on my LibGuide. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me go ahead. I can give you I'll give you the URL for the LibGuide if you're interested in looking at some of this on my LibGuide again. This is to learn how to fold the basic folds. This is the application and research. So we have applications in the space technology that we saw with Robert Lang. We have medicine, mostly with origami. It collapses and expands. So there's applications in medicine and robotics and engineering. Here's what we did before, and here's that butterfly or moth we made, and then here's all the animals. Here's the dollar bill origami. And this is the heart that we made. So you can see all of these are on YouTube.
Hello and welcome to Falten mit Yvonne.
Actually, she's not using sound right there because origami is so visual. That's why YouTube is such a perfect medium to show origami. And if you look at the easy origami, it's going to have just 3 or 4 minutes. It will have fewer steps. So what I want to do is show you, I'm going to go to the camera again. And I want to show you some of the things that I've made. There's an origami wreath that's here. I just got this wreath, the twig at Hobby Lobby, and then I made some origami cranes. This has really beautiful Utzen washi paper. So all of these came in a packet, and I think this is really one of my favorite. And this is the paper crane. This is the one where I just typed in on Google paper crane, and I got the 225 hits. So there's so much origami on YouTube. This is this famous paper crane. There's a story about Sadako and the 1,000 paper cranes. She was a little girl in Hiroshima, and developed leukemia after the bomb. And if you make 1,000 paper cranes, the myth is that you can make a wish. And so she was making a wish to be healed, and she didn't make it that far before she died. So the children in her class completed the 1,000 paper cranes. What they end up looking like when you string them together is this. And I actually, over the pandemic, I made 1,000 paper cranes, and I made a wish myself. When that was going on, the pandemic, there were people that were sending cranes to New York City, and because they can collapse, they were sending these chains of paper cranes because it shows support in a time of difficulty. It shows that you're not alone. It's a symbol of longevity. And so in support of the people at the beginning of the pandemic, there were a lot of paper cranes that were sent. This is another thing that I made with the smaller paper. This was made with the 5-inch origami. And then I made this wreath with the smaller origami cranes that I made, and I just attached them with a glue gun. Thank you all. I'm going to show you how to make these little flowers. This is another one. And the reason I'm showing you these is because you can do this really easily yourself. I'm just kind of an advanced beginner. Yeah, a lot of people, the flowers were really popular. So this is the size of the flower. This is the larger one. But if you want to make a wreath, you'll want to do the smaller. And if I folded, let me get a piece of paper here. And this is also on the lip guide, but I'm just going to show you how easy it is. You take this is the 5-inch, but what I made on the wreath is the 2.5-inch. So we fold it like a triangle like this, and I'm going to hold it in place and bring this point to meet the top point of the triangle. So as far as the basic fold, these are all valley folds. Instead of a mountain fold would be the opposite way. This is the mountain fold. I'm bringing it down, and there's a point here. And it looks like this. So I'm starting, the narrow end is down at the bottom of that large. And then we're going to do another swash fold like we did in the dollar bill when we made the heart. So I just put my finger in here like this, and then I squash it down So that crease goes right down the middle. Every crease you make is not going to necessarily end up in a fold. A lot of them are for markers for other creases. Okay, so this is going to give us, we're making just one petal. And these are all the filaments that are inside of the flower. So now I'm going to fold this back. And we'll do this on both sides. Fold this over. And you know how there's always magic in origami. And then you fold it together, and there you have that petal. It's kind of cheating, but there's a lot of origami where you use glue. So I just used an Elmer's glue stick, the kind that's purple and then it disappears. And you make each of these petals, and I like to use 5. And then you glue these together, and then you take the glue gun, and then you'll put it on your wreath. So the stick wreaths I got at Hobby Lobby. So that's what I wanted to show you all. I really hope that you'll become interested in origami. My idea was that you might try folding yourself and get some origami paper. I'm glad you enjoyed this. And if anyone has any questions, I know that you can do this and that maybe you'll become interested in it. Let me give you there's a URL on my LibGuide. If you go to the library page and you can scroll down to the LibGuides, and if you type in origami, thank you so much, Kristen. I'm glad that you all enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, does anyone have any questions? You can raise your hand. You're welcome.
Thanks so much, Sarah. This has been really, really neat. I really enjoyed seeing all the things you've created. They're really pretty. And it's nice to see that you can use all sorts of color paper and things and get really creative. So thank you so much for showing this to us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and thank you all for coming in and watching our workshop for today on origami. And you can check out Sarah's page. I put the link in the chat to go to the library LibGuide that shows you how to see some of these things that she showed us today, as well as some other videos as well. So thank you again, Sarah, for being here today. And we
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. So I have
Enjoyed
put
it.
in the chat a link to Tejano Passport Points. So you do get credit for attending today. Just click on it and it will have you log in and you can earn points for being here today. Next week, we'll also have a workshop on Friday called When I Grow Up, I Want to Be a Writer. It's going to be by an alumni from EPCC, Miss Isela Grelis. She is an author, so she'll be here next Friday. But again, I hope you enjoyed today's event. We thank Ms. Holloway for being with us today, and we thank all of you for coming. So have a great weekend. Don't forget Monday's a holiday. No school, no offices will be open. So be safe and have a great weekend. Thank you.